Welcome to XOTIC PC's review of Sager's brand new NP8150. This machine is pretty exciting and unique. It's going to be their first in their lineup that was released. It has the new Sandy Bridge Intel processor in it. In this particular demo, we went ahead and did the i7-2920XM. That's a 2.5 gigahertz quad core that will self-overclock as well. Just like the previous version of i7 processors did. This is no difference. We did go ahead and put 16 gigs of RAM in this particular model. They do have 4 RAM DIMMs in there now instead of 2. So going with the higher amount of RAM is not as difficult as it used to be or nearly as expensive. This particular model also is pretty exciting. It has the GTX 485M in it, which is we'll talk about more advanced later. But it's quite the beast for a single graphics card with a stock 3D Mark Vantage score of 14,911. Pretty impressive. Granted, the processor is as good as it gets for mobile as well, but that said, still a very impressive machine. We did toss a Blu-ray drive in this and an Intel 6300 Wi-Fi card. We'll go ahead and have a look at the actual aesthetics of the machine first before we talk about any of the other components here. It's going to be kind of new to Sager in that its finish is kind of the more popular rubberized type finish that we've seen in a lot of machines here lately. It's just made it kind of popular with the G73 series and the G53 series now. The rubberized finish does continue throughout all of the throughout the entire computer. As you can see, we're sporting dual fans here, and this is kind of nice and unique too. We'll talk about this more after a little bit, but you'll find that the jack pack or the input-output ports on this are actually quite plentiful, which is a nice change. Keyboard is a chiclet-style keyboard. It really isn't too special. We were kind of hoping that they might make a change and do a backlit. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There isn't flex or anything at all. I'm a pretty hard typer and fast, and had no problems whatsoever. You gotta get to type and no missed keys or anything. Just noting because it's kind of cool. This is an overclocked score. I'm gonna keep pushing it here a little bit more, but that's what the clock's set at about 1700 for the core clock, and just right around like 620 for the memory. Yeah, it's pretty good out of a single graphics card. It's about double what the GTX 460M is capable of doing, even even overclocked. So pretty outstanding. Keep on going here. Speaker placement is pretty standard. They did change and go to a THX certified version. It's going to run their Studio Pro software as well. This 15-inch model also includes a subwoofer. We'll talk about that here a little bit more as we start getting in a little deeper on some of the other features of the computer. Okay, the computer itself, we'll talk a little bit about some of the other features here. Touchpad. Kind of get my take on it here. Unfortunately, they continued the rubberized finish along the touchpad as well, and it works okay. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I would say I'm not quite a fan of continuing that rubberized finish there. Probably would have been better to choose a little bit smoother matte finish. I would say that that'll probably be most people's gripe if they use the touchpad quite a bit. Otherwise, we do have a built-in fingerprint reader. Fortunately, the left and right mouse clicks were really responsive, easy to click. Didn't find anything that I disliked about them there. On the keyboard, they added what they consider a gaming feature here, in that they put up, down, left, right arrows on the WASD keys. So, it's another little feature, as if we didn't know that they were already a part of it. As you kind of go along here, we'll get a close-up on the function keys, just so that you can have a better look. Whoops. Better look at what they do here. You've got pretty typical ones as far as turning the LCD off and on, and mute and sleep, and the sound volume up and down. Extending it to a secondary monitor, your brightness of your screen. That brings up your camera. So if any of you are wondering why your webcam doesn't work, you need to function F10 and the webcam will start to work again. Same thing holds true with your wireless and Bluetooth, especially the Bluetooth. The radio is going to come turned off. You need to function F12 to turn the radio on before you're going to be able to use your Bluetooth devices. It's something that just a part of the Sager driver, and that's just really the way that it works. We've got a 3-row 10-key keypad here, and what I would consider a standard-sized chiclet keyboard. Nothing out of the ordinary about that, just a pretty normal chiclet keyboard. We'll continue to have a look here. The overall feel of the computer is pretty robust. It's got a good fit and finish to it. Feels strong, does not feel cheap or chintzy. I do like the rubberized finish over the previous model's finish, just because it feels a little bit stronger, a little bit higher end. I think time will tell as we find out how well it works, I suppose. Doing another run here of 3D Mark Vantage, so you can keep along with me. Hitting about 52 FPS on this particular guy here. We've upped the clocks to the core clock to be around 1725. I'm shooting to get 17K on 3D Mark Vantage, and that's kind of my goal here. I'll keep pushing it though until it decides it doesn't want to work anymore. Gonna let you have a look at the back panel here. That's one downside I would say to this. As you can see here, I did turn it over on its back side so that I could get a good idea of the access panels and stuff. And as you can see, my table was a little bit dusty, and that dust did carry over. It does wipe off with a cloth, just a soft cloth, pretty easily. I haven't done that since I just flipped it over, but that's going to be one downside. Same thing happens on the G73 series that use the same rubberized finish. Okay, we're going to start here and take a look at our input-output jacks. I can tell you I'm very impressed with the input-output ports on this particular unit. They really included about everything that you possibly could think of, and they did a very good job of it. Placement's pretty decent, and boy, it's just really fully featured. As you can see here, we uniquely have both DVI and HDMI, which is nice. We've got a combination eSATA USB 2.0 port. As we make our way around, we've got a standard Kensington lock port, a single USB 2.0, we've got a line in, and then also a Toslink. It's a mini Toslink SPDIF digital output. We've got standard microphone and headphone jacks, the optical disc tray. As you make your way to the front of the unit, you really don't have much in the way of ports or anything. You've got a couple of indicator lights there on the right hand side there, just from right to left. The first one on the right is power, and the next one is going to be just the battery, lets you know it's charging. You've got your infrared port there, and beyond that, that's it for your front. On the left hand side, we continue our incredible jack pack here on this NP8150. There is an option, I think, from Clevo, not in the United States as far as I know, or at least Sager decided not to include this. But there is an option to have a built-in TV jack. That we haven't seen that option actually come to fruition in the United States in a while. This unit does have two USB 3.0 ports, which is nice. So combine that with eSATA in the back, two USB 3.0 ports, is quite a bit of high-speed transfer options. We've got another USB 2.0 port on here, so that, yes, that you're right, that if you're not using your eSATA, that does make 5 USB ports. Another unique thing that I think a lot of people will be happy about and lead them to purchase this laptop is that you actually have an IEEE 1394 port here. So many of you have been looking for one. Rejoice, it's been left off the last series of this and is now back. So it's really great. Even though it's not being used by a lot of media anymore, it's certainly still quite popular. We get questions about it all the time. Then you've got your standard card slot there. It's a 3-in-1 card slot. Next thing we're going to talk about here is our screen a little bit, and I just let you know I did hit my goal here of a managed score of 17,172. That's pretty insane for a single GPU. Man, I tell you, that's really good. Talk about the screen here a little bit. Really, it's a very good looking screen. It's made by AUO. It's the AUO 10 ED is the model on it. It's bright. It's very even. I do not see a lot of LED bleed, or really any at all. Overall, it's of course a 1080p option, and just really looks bright, vivid. Colors are deep. It looks really good. I will say, in comparison to the AUO 11 ED, which is the matte version of this that the 8130 uses, it's odd that the matte finish screen is actually nicer than this, but that says a lot because the screen is gorgeous. The matte finish screen that's on the other model, and we'll do a review on that here as well, is just simply stunning. It actually has pretty good viewing angles here. It really doesn't start to wash out noticeably really until we get to about this point here, where we'll start seeing a noticeable wash, and granted you probably use your computer at that angle very often. Same thing holds true as you start to lean it back, and then this is another nice thing, it does go back quite a distance, quite a ways there. There's really almost, from the front, almost no wash at all at that angle. So you really can't even push it far enough to see any sort of wash. Your side-to-side viewing angles, really you're not seeing much decrease in brightness or wash. I would say there's about a 15% to 20% drop in brightness, even as you go all the way to the side here. So it really is a good screen. I'm impressed with Clevo / Sager in this regard. They did a really good job of choosing the screen on this particular model.